is dying. Its barren fields provide little food, and its crumbling walls offer no protection. As the power of the Guardian Menhir fails, the weirdness creeps ever closer. Twisting places, creatures, and even space itself. Despite this, the people of the Farmhold refuse to leave. Instead, Lord Yvain led 4 of their best on a desperate mission to Kamelot. They promised to bring back help. They never returned. Now those left behind are growing desperate. They will try to bestow the burden of their fate on someone else. New heroes, with an even slimmer chance of success.
Hey everybody, christopherodd here, and today we're checking out a game called Tainted Grail by Awaken Realms. If that name sounds familiar, it's because in 2018, these guys raised £5 million on Kickstarter. That's roughly $6.5 million US dollars to fund a board game. The board game was called Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon. They then announced a PC version of the game, which is going to be using different mechanics compared to the board game, but it's set in the same world and overall setting. And it's being written by one of Poland's best fantasy writers. His name is Krzysztof Piskorski. I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing that at least closely. The game is a dark fantasy open world RPG, and today I'm showing you the alpha build that's available to backers. Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to share my thoughts on the experience, so stick around to hear about that. And I want to thank Awaken Realms for sponsoring this because I'm really excited to have access to this and show you guys what this game is. I think if you're into branching narratives and RPGs, well-written stories, I really think that you're going to like this, and I'm just happy to have the opportunity to show this to you. I'm going to make a recommendation, and that's just set the vibe. If you don't know what that means, it's lights off, headphones on, volume up. Let yourself get into this and just have a really great time. Okay, let's begin. So we've got 2 character selections right now. We have Bior and we have LA. Now, Bior, he's a local smith known for his short temper and incredible strength. He does his best to conceal a festering, unhealable wound in his side that he received under mysterious circumstances. Alay, on the other hand, is an outcast whose entire family perished in the wyrdness. She makes a modest living supplying healing herbs and roots to the locals. Now, in this build, as it says at the bottom, both characters are going to have the same combat skills. Your choice is only influencing the story and some exploration skills. As an example, if you play with LA, at least in the pre-alpha version that I had the opportunity to test out a few days ago, she was able to have a wider kind of view cone when you're out in the wyrdness, and that'll make a little bit more sense when we're out there. But she could also move a little bit further per action point, whereas Bior is a little bit stronger in combat. So in future versions, all characters are going to have completely unique asymmetric skill sets. I'm going to go ahead and choose Bior here.
You've been sitting in this dark hall for the better part of the day. The bitterness of your ale, a good match for the bitterness of your thoughts. They found you insufficient. They left you behind like a broken tool.
The wound in your side suddenly throbs, and you punch it in response, pain and rage overwhelming for a moment. Only then you notice one of the Farmhold's guardians standing in front of you, his mouth agape. You want some of the medicine too? He steps back in terror, but does not leave.
I am sorry, but it's your turn to lay an offering.
We have a new quest here, the God-forsaken offering. If it was not your turn today, and even if it were, you know the truth. The Menhir's protection won't last. Oblivion stretches its cold hand towards Kuanak Farmhold after claiming many other parts of Avalon. What offering?
An offering to our Guardian Menhir. Have you been outside? The wyrdness is close now, and Farmhold's ledger says you're next. Please, don't cause any trouble.
Well, you must have read the ledger wrong. It's not my turn.
The knight who changed our ledger, you are now first on the list.
He did what? I want to speak with him.
He went out.
Very convenient. Went to the weirdness outside? That can't end well.
He's from bloody Kamelot. We are not to question his methods. Please, just go and see to the offering.
Just get lost. The face of the guard
I
hardens.
thought Master Effer made a better man of you.
Well, here we are. Time passes, your wound throbs again as if something was trying to rip free and join the rolling clouds of weirdness outside. Sitting here any longer would be a torture. Let's finish our drink. Okay, welcome to Tainted Grail's pre-alpha. Since it's an early version, please forgive us for interrupting your game in order to explain some things. Now, I've been through the early section of this already, and so if there's anything you want to read in more detail in terms of a tutorial, feel free to pause and read it, but I'll explain it very quickly as things come up. So we have quick slots at the bottom. We can drag things to and from our inventory. These are really helpful to use with torches and weird candles, which we'll learn about soon. You can press Alt to highlight anything that you can interact with in the environment. We have on the left side, we've got our quest log, character sheet, inventory, and resting functionality. We also have a couple of skills that we can use on the map that are above our character portrait. And then if you double click your character portrait, you can get into your character panel. Here's some of the controls. Basically, you use left mouse button to path around and execute your movement path. Right mouse button to deselect the hero, or if you hold right mouse button, you can drag around to see the areas around you. And then we've got these available as well. Okay, first of all, super cool look. I love how dark it is. It kind of reminds me of Darkwood. Very similar, except for you don't have like the vision cone thing. And if you guys have never heard of that, it's a cool game to check out as well. But let's hold Alt and see all the things we can interact with. So we have a couple of buildings over here. Red Priest Camp, Crazed Dogs. These are combat-oriented. Hunter's High Sea, Kunak's Brooch, and then a Ruined Gate, which we might have the opportunity to rebuild. Now, if we take a look around, this is the weirdness. We can't see in there right now. To go out there without losing sanity, we need to have weird candles, which we'll gain access to in a second. So let's hit Q and open up our quest log. So the town of Kunak, your hometown, is dying. Its barren fields provide little food, and its crumbling walls offer no protection. In the past months, many townsfolk lost their loved ones to the weirdness, brigands, or wild beasts. The last remainder of the glory days of this place is the Guardian Menhir, but its protection is waning. Oblivion stretches its cold hands towards the farmhold after claiming many other parts of Avalon. So, the Menhir is always lit by candles, and with a daily offering at its gnarled feet, it's time to lay one today and hope that this small sacrifice will push back the weirdness a bit. Now, it seems very strange that they had this list of people that go out and they have one person per day that's putting down these sacrifices, and for some reason, it was changed to be us. Maybe we'll figure out why, maybe we won't. So, let's actually approach the Menhir.
The local menhir now towers above you, weathered and cracked, its ribbons flapping in the wind. The thought that this tired old thing is the only protection from pure weirdness outside of Farmhold sends shivers up your spine.
The local Menhir now towers above you, weathered and cracked, its ribbons flapping in the wind. The thought that this tired old thing is the only protection from pure weirdness outside of Farmhold sends shivers up your spine. Menhirs
raised by Merlin himself in the Age of Conquest, are said to have different appetites.
So we heard earlier about the Knights and Kamelot, and we're seeing Merlin here, so you can kind of see where this is going setting-wise.
The one before you seems to best respond to fresh blood, and its thirst is not easy to quench.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that we can do here. If we want, we can just spill our own blood, but it's going to use half of our health, or we can look for a sacrifice, which we're going to do. The Menhir can be sated with animal blood just as easily as with human offering. Unfortunately, livestock's now scarce and very expensive. You'll need to hunt down some wild creature and drag it back to this place. The thought of chasing prey on the edge of weirdness makes you anxious. Your eyes slide past the Kunak's prison brooch. Maybe there's another safer way to appease the Menhir. So, the prison brooch. There's a couple of things that we just got hinted at. If we take a look, here's the prison brooch here. We also have Crazed Dog over on this section, we have a crazed dog down here. So these are combat situations that we're going to run into. And if we look at our quest log, now if we have a new side quest called Scapegoat, we just need to decide what we want to use as a sacrifice at the Menhir. An animal sacrifice, as we learned, but we're also being hinted that there's prisoners located north of the Menhir. Human blood might be an effective sacrifice, or we can do our own blood. Now, I kind of would like to show you combat early. So we're going to go and fight one of the wolves. We'll also maybe stop by the prison and see if we have access to both, and then we can make an appropriate sacrifice based on that, based on how that goes. So let's go ahead and approach the crazed dog. We're going to try and fight him and get a sacrifice going. Now, combat's really cool, actually. The way it's handled, it's pretty deep, and I'm going to try to explain it quickly, but you'll pick up as we go. So first things first, to play these cards, they cost either energy or they can sometimes impact these glyphs over here. So we have 3 energy right now. We have a combination of red cards and blue cards. Red are typically more damage-based. Blue are typically more defensive-based, but sometimes they'll have small amounts of damage in there. If you look at the card, you can see how much energy it's going to cost on the right. On the left side, you're going to see glyph charges that are added from playing this card. Now, what happens when you add glyph charges? So this glyph is called Brawler. If we want to activate it, it needs to be at 10. It's kind of like using an ultimate ability. And if we do that, then the cost of all red cards is 0 this turn, and their damage is increased by 100%. It's incredibly strong. The passive, for every charge that you put into this glyph, you're going to gain 10% damage, so all of your future attacks become a bit stronger. For Fighter, if we want to activate this, it's going to cost 10 charges. You gain 3 energy and draw 2 cards. So essentially, you can kind of keep your turn going. You only have 5 cards per round. The passive here, though, is that you gain 3 armor. So if you're getting attacked a lot, you want to dump some damage off of yourself, then buff up your armor and play a bunch of blue cards. You can also take a look at the enemies that we're facing. So 2 crazed dogs right now, 50 health each. They have some stats like armor, chance to evade. They've got critical hit and chance to resist any negative effects. It also shows their intention. So this dog is looking to damage our health, and this dog is looking to apply a buff. So let's take a look here. We'll go through each of these cards, and then we'll try and find any new cards that come up and take a closer look at them as well. So the first one is Softening Blow. It's 4 to 6 damage. If the enemy has a negative status, then you deal more damage. Now, the cards also have something called momentum, and that's where chaining your cards together can result in some pretty powerful outcomes. So, for an example here, if the next card you play after this is not red, you get to draw an additional card. You don't draw normally during your turn, so being able to draw additional cards is really powerful because you can keep playing certain things. This is going to cost 1 energy. This one is Careful Approach. You do 4 to 6 damage. You gain 100% resistance for 1 turn. Resistance is the ability to negate any negative effect, or resist any negative effect, to state it more clearly. If the next skill has an effect, it's going to last 1 turn longer, so that's the momentum part of this card. This is Swift Strike, so it's just straight damage, but you gain 2 red glyphs, which improves your further damage. Shield Slam, you deal 7 to 13 damage, plus 2% damage from armor. So the higher that your armor is, then you get extra bonuses there. The next card that you play has a chance for critical hit equal to your armor. So if you're able to build this up even higher, then you can get critical chances improved. And then Softening Blow, 4 to 6 damage. If the enemy has a negative status, then they take 16 to 26. The next card is not red, then you draw a card. First thing we want to do, I think, with this batch is just try to improve our glyphs. So we're going to play Swift Strike. We'll try and focus down 1. We're probably not going to be able to kill him this turn. He's the one who's looking to attack us. So let's start putting some work in there. Notice we got those 2 red glyphs added. So now we're dealing 20% extra damage. If we go here, we don't have negative statuses on either one. We could maybe go into... Let's go into this. I think we go Softening Blow. We'll do 4 to 7 damage here. And then if the next card is not red, we can draw a card. So let's go ahead and play this one. This is also going to give us a blue glyph. Now, we did draw a card. However, we're not able to play it. We're out of energy. But just to show how some of the momentum stuff works, that should be pretty self-explanatory. So we're now up to 4 armor. We had the 1 to start, and now we've got the +3 here. So we're going to end our turn, let them act. This guy's going to hit us a bit, and this guy is going to apply a buff. And you can see the armor chunk being impacted when we get attacked. Okay, so now we've got Swift Strike for 2 glyphs. We have Steel Eater, 9 to 15 damage, reduce an enemy's armor by 6. Next card is a +15 critical chance, which is okay, but they don't have a lot of armor. Same thing here. We have Swift Strike, and then we have the Steel Eater again. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stack Swift Strikes here. The reason is because we just want to max out these glyphs ASAP. Let's do another one here to finish him off. And then these guys, this is going to give our next chance 15%. But I think he's going to go into attacking. I didn't have a way to defend at all, so that's fine. I like that momentum carries over between rounds. I think that's really cool. What else do we want to do? You pretty much have to play this. 6 to 10 damage. We're going to get a bunch of glyph damage here. Or glyph counters, I should say. And it's going to lower our non-red runes to 0. So it's really neat that there's some trade-off there too. So this is going to go down to 0. This is going to be maxed out. And we're going to do 6 to 10 damage. If the next card's red, it's going to cost 1 energy less. And you've noticed that most of these are costing 1 energy right now. This part we're not really going to be able to benefit from because we don't have any red cards. But we might get the crit chance. Okay. This is now maxed out. And we can't use it because we don't have any red cards. But we'll go ahead and draw a card. The next card is blue. Draw an extra one. Okay, so there's our red one. 11 to 18 damage. Place bleeding for 3 turns. The next card is red. Generate 3. Okay. So we can't play this one because we don't have the energy cost. But just to show you, we can activate Brawler. So all red cards are going to be 0, and their damage is increased by 100. So we're dealing 11 to 18 now. Let's activate this. This is now 0. 16 to 27 damage. Boom. Got him. Okay, so we got a little bit of XP and we got some food. However, we didn't get like a carcass or anything from these guys. So let's go and try to fight the other one. And we'll start to move through combat a little bit faster. Okay, so this is just one dog. He's looking to attack us. If we wanted to, let's do something like this. So this is going to be a little jab, and if the next card's blue, we're going to gain 20 armor till the end of the turn. We are going to play this, which is going to gain 10 armor. So we're going to add that to the 20. Go shields up since he's going to attack. We're up to 37 armor now. And then let's see. Let's just go all armor here. We're at 53 armor, reducing incoming damage by 53% now. Barely did anything to us. Okay. He's looking to apply a buff next turn. So if the next card is red, generate 3. Can't really do that. Next card has a chance for critical hit equal to your armor. We could... This is going to cost 2. And it places bleeding. The only thing is, if we want to go shields up to gain more armor and then do the critical chance for hits equal to armor, I'm not going to have enough energy to play this. So I'll just do... Let's do this. And then we have a critical chance equal to armor. So it's not a ton, but Oh, we did get the crit. Nice. And he's bleeding. So 5 damage per turn for 5 turns. And we're out. He's activated duck and run. So he's extra evasion now. 26% of attacks are just going to be negated completely. Looks like he's going to apply a debuff now. I should point out, we actually do have a debuff called Drunk, because we drank before we left the meat hall. But we're just going to try and kill him off now. Swift Strike is fine. Build up those glyphs. We can stun, just to show you how that works. So he's unable to move. He's down to 2 health. He's going to die from the bleeding anyways. Let's just kill him. All right. Now, we got food. So unfortunately, if we go back here, we didn't get the drops that we needed. Or did we? Oh, we did. Oh, my bad. Okay. So let's do not yet here. We did actually pick up a dog carcass. The hound you healed or killed was severely malnourished, but this bloody scrap should be enough to sustain the Menhir. I didn't see that coming up in the post-battle, but I guess that's something we need to check in the actual inventory. Now, the other option was to go to the prison back here. Let's go and see how that could play out. There's a lone guard posted by the only door of the brooch. He should be guarding its lone prisoner, but instead he's immersed in a drunken dream. Let's see if we can leave him be. Oh, we have to actually engage. Okay, cool. Thought maybe we could sneak past him. The guard growls. Shouldn't you be at the Menhir spilling your stupid blood? Go away unless you've got something for my headache. No? So get lost. Now, shut up and drink this. It should help with the pain. I'm supposed to bring a prisoner as a sacrifice for the Menhir. Let's give him one of our meads here and see what this does. We lost a mead. The guard looks surprised at first, but he accepts the situation immediately. He takes a long swig. What do you want? I want to speak with the prisoner. The guard shrugs and points at the entrance to the brooch. As you step in, you see a ragged man chained to a wall in an uncomfortable position. He was caught stealing food several nights ago. He claims to be a scholar from Kamelot, but looks and smells just like any other vagabond. Farmhold's elders kept him alive so far to verify his side of the story, but with all roads cut off by weirdness, no one's going to Kamelot anytime soon. Finally, someone comes to release me. I've come all the way from Kamelot to check on your dirty little village. Free me and you'll be rewarded later. The man looks like regular scum, but maybe you should give him a chance. When you were young, your father took you to Kamelot and you remember the sight of this magnificent castle clearly. Interesting. Okay. We already have the offering that we need. So I think just to see what happens, we're going to free him. You're from Kamelot? Then tell me, how many towers are there on its outside wall? What do I care? 4 of them, I think. There were 5. He either can't count or he's lying. Let's ask him more questions. Why won't Kamelot help us? Yvain sent many letters. He wasn't the only one. Most farmholds are now besieged by the weirdness, and there was already 1 knight dispatched to your region. Shakes his manacles. Are we done? Can we get to the part where you free me? Uncomfortable silence falls in the brooch. I'm gonna see where this leads. I'll help you out. Any ideas? By the sight of it, it won't be difficult. Just give this drunkard more ale, or kill him. I wouldn't mind. We have a new quest now. Cool. Okay. So I've not done this before. I fought the wolves and I ventured out into the weirdness doing other things. This is totally new and I'm excited to see where this goes. Before we move on, a couple of things. We have these 2 skills that we can use when we're in this view outside of battle. We have Perseverance, costs 75, Resolve. Bior gets a 20% increase in damage and armor for 7 turns. And then we have Dominating Presence. Bior scares nearby foes, reducing their triggering range. You'll see a little circle as we approach certain people. So let's go into our quest and see what he's suggesting. You agree to help the prisoner break out of the brooch. Find a way to do that. All right. Let's see. We do have more mead here. The guard is not sleeping. He looks at you irritated. You again? Okay, get him drunk. I have another gift, but we actually need booze instead of mead, or we can fight him. Can't you hear it? It's a strange scream a while ago from the brooch. Or nothing to do with you. We don't have any wealth right now, so buying him booze is going to be tough. Let's actually ambush him and see what happens. See how strong he is. He's got 10 armor. He's going to be way more of a challenge than the wolves. He's intending to attack, and he's got 100 health. Okay. Next turn, any enemy that attacks you gets bleeding, and we have a 5% crit chance bonus on the next card. We could also gain 10 armor. Oh, look at this. Shake the mountain. Lower your armor by 20. We're already at 1. That's pretty solid, but it's costing all of this, so let's go ahead and gain 10 armor. And then we'll go into this one, and then we'll play this card to maybe get a crit chance. It's not a big deal, but I'm mainly just focusing on trying to combo some of the some of the momentum together. Let's gain armor here. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's gain more armor. And then we'll do next turn, any enemy that attacks you gets bleeding, which he's going to do. And then our card that we play next can be damage and hopefully good crit chance. Okay. So he's got minor bleeding now. We reduced a bunch of his damage because of the armor buildup. 4 to 6 damage. Lower your non-red runes to 0, which I don't really want to do, but he is looking to apply a debuff here. If the next card is red, it costs 1 less. I don't have any red cards. Maybe we go into jab or preparation. Shield slam is using the armor. Next card has a critical hit equal to your armor. Okay. Let's do this. Preparation. We're stacking this up. The next card is blue. We draw a card. Let's do this one. Get some damage in there. And we get to draw. Move all negative statuses. We don't... yeah, we don't have any statuses. We have debuffs. This is a little different. And then if the next card is blue, you gain 20 armor till the end of your turn. So we're going to go ahead and play one of these. And you can see we're getting up to 8 on 10 here. So next round, maybe we can play fighter. And we're negating a ton of his incoming damage here. He takes the bleed. We actually got stunned. Okay. Next card has chance for critical hit equal to your armor. So we definitely want to go here, I think. 8 to 13 on Swift Strike. Or, no, I think we continue going into here. I'm just seeing the best way to combo these together. 100% resistance for 1 turn. If he's going to debuff. Oh, he's going to heal. Okay. Let's try and get some damage in. Actually, that one, because he's not going to attack us, the armor till the end of the turn doesn't really benefit me that much. If the next card is blue, we can do a little bit of a heal. It's going to reset all but blue charges, which is fine. And we're going to go max blue here. Okay. So he's healed up. Now he's going to apply a debuff. Next card is blue. We're going to heal up. So let's maybe gain armor. Or we could stack this. Reduces armor by 6. Do that for a heal. Then we'll go gain armor. Actually, he's going for a debuff, so this is fine. Let's do this. It doesn't combo with the heal, but reducing the armor is nice. Okay. Now what's he looking to do? He's looking to heal, so let's try putting as much in as we can. 8 to 10 damage to all enemies. Gain +1 charge for each enemy hit. Okay, so we're going to actually go through all of these. Just looking at momentum. If it's not red, draw a card. Next card's 15% crit chance. and reduce armor. So let's start with that. Now, you can go into negative, so you're increasing damage now. What's our biggest damage here? 9 to 15. Okay. We're going to go... Next card is not red. Draw a card. Let's actually do this because we are going to activate Fighter now. Gain 3 energy and draw 2 cards. We can play this. We're going to get to draw a couple of cards here because of the momentum. And if the next card is blue, draw another card. Gain 100% resistance for 1 turn. That doesn't really help me here. Let's go into this. Reduces armor further, and the next card is going to have a 15% crit chance. Not that it's really necessary, but did get the crit. Makes me feel good. Okay, nice. Booze. So well, we found our booze a little bit too late, but that's okay. We did get a little bit of wealth there. A little bit of gold. You release the prisoner from chains. Thank you. Now you're going with me. I have an offering to make. Or run away as fast as you can. I'm going to save him because we have the other way of doing it. Who knows? Maybe down the road this comes back to help us. The man disappears and you stand there wondering how his body managed to gather this much strength and agility after rotting in this prison for so long. Quest completed. You decide to let the prisoner escape. However, you still didn't lay your daily offering to the Menhir. Pick the guard's dead body. Yes, please. Sacrifice. Oh yeah, we'll use his body. That's actually super cool. Sacrifice is a sacrifice. You strip the guard of his armor, you pick up his weapon and realize that his face is so disfigured that there's a high chance that nobody will ever figure out who was burning at the feet of the Menhir. Incapacitated guard. Okay, awesome. Let's go back here. It's really cool to see the possibilities of things like that. I love that they've put thought into all these different branching paths. And for me, like as a player, now that's something that we can start considering. Oh, if I kill this guy, maybe that's a sacrifice I can make. Or if I do this, maybe that'll work. Because it seems like they've thought about a lot of that stuff. Let's sacrifice the guard. Not that I really want this dog carcass, but this is going to cover up our indiscretion as well. People gather in safe distance, watching with ghastly curiosity as you put the knife through the man's heart. As the cracked stones drink greedily, you look around and see some grins of distaste. No one minds that he met such an end, or such end, but you did choose an easy way out, and the next person on the ledger won't have this choice. Okay.
You feel the Menhir's power surging.
So, we've got 10 XP.
Once again, the weirdness is pushed back. Once again, the land returned to Kuanacht is smaller than before, barely reaching past the furthest buildings of the farmhold.
Bystanders disperse and you sit down to catch your breath. Most of the people are now heading for the mead hall to raise a toast for yet another day Kuanacht brought itself with blood. But as you contemplate joining them, you notice a smaller group of villagers moving towards the abandoned houses at the edge of the farmhold, now safe from weirdness. You catch some words about the wealth they're hoping to find in homes that belong to champions of Yvain's expedition. Might be a good idea to see what's happening over there, especially since the knight who rules Kuanacht doesn't seem to be around to stop the looting. Cool. So we've earned a new level. You can click C on your keyboard. Also, there's a neat surprise waiting for you in the character sheet when you hit level 5. Okay. So the way this works is you can go into attacking or defense. You can go into exploration or different skills. So I think if we go in here, this is just showing basically all of our deck. These are your exploration skills that you have access to, and the ruins are the things that we can now upgrade. These are our current status effects. This is our inventory, and then this is our quest log across the top. So let's click here. We have 3 options. Increase max red charges to 12, but the ultimate itself still costs 10. So that means we get up to 120% damage. Precision, each red charge, 2% plus 2 critical chance per attack. Buying this upgrade costs 1 skill point. And crippling strikes, plus 2% cripple chance per attack. In the defensive area, on each hit you receive in combat, you gain plus extra armor. Resistance, you gain 3% resistance for each blue charge. This one does not work in alpha, but quick metabolism. Health gain from consumables is doubled during combat. Buying this upgrade costs 1 skill point. Okay, We're going to go into... We're going to go into the critical chance, I think. All right. Nice. So, a new quest. Last days of Kuanak, we've done the sacrifice. Citizens are in the mead hall. They're waiting for you to join them. But we also have this crowd that we just heard about. The crowd that gathers near his home can't mean anything good. And Ephir was like a father to us. The guy at the beginning made a reference to Ephir raising us, or he said he thought he kind of made us a better man than what we were. So let's head over here and check this out. People gathered in front of Ephir's house argue loudly. Some of them are trying to stop the others from breaking the door down. It seems like the crowd wants to loot the house before the weirdness once again cuts it off from the rest of the town. As much as you hate the idea of robbing your friend and mentor, you can't deny that Ephir is most likely dead. And even if he isn't, with the weirdness clouding roads and trails, he will be hard-pressed to ever return. We have that key. And you're trying to rob was just a smith. What will you do with his tool? Scratch your backs? Let's step aside and let them in. We'll go a little savage. You want to help us? Aren't you his apprentice? You push through the crowd and open the door with the key Ephir entrusted you with. Everyone enters the building and starts rummaging around. Seeing all these people looting Ephir's home almost makes you hope he'll never return to see the aftermath. As you prepare to gather tools scattered around a large workbench, you notice a piece of parchment on the floor under it. Did the draft carry it from the table, or was it discarded by Ephir? Letter from Ephir. In this short note, your master explains the reason why Yvain did not take you on his quest. Young Lord of Kuanak believes you are too reckless, and he saw your wound as a liability. But Ephir never doubted you. He believes that should Yvain's expedition fail, you are the second best chance Kuanak has. So Yvain was the knight that was leading people away to try and find help, but they never returned. We were upset that he didn't pick us, which is why we were drinking in the mead hall. And now this is what he's talking about. As you finish the letter, you notice some people were reading it over your shoulder. Have you seen this? Bjor's going to save us. Ephir himself appointed him. Oh no. You try to take the letter back, but the man slips by you and disappears into the distance, heading for the mead hall. You let out a single resigned sigh. You should probably go to the elders. You lost the letter from Ephir. Oh, I stole it. Okay. Also, we can choose a new skill here. So what do we want to grab? What would be helpful? Next card is red. Add 50% damage of this attack. That's okay. You'd want to combo something before this probably to boost this and then boost the next one. Next card dealing double damage is cool, but it's very expensive. Stun an enemy, discard all cards and draw 5 new cards. Next card is blue, draw 1 card. Costs a lot though. Let's use pendulum. All right. So let's go to the mead hall and see where this leads. The moment you enter the mead hall, all eyes turn towards you. The man who took your letter is here, flushed, panting. Next to him, you see the maimed knight himself.
Is that true? Did you know about this letter?
Whatever the letter says is not important. In the end, Ephir never delivered it. He could have changed his mind. The thing is, I didn't know what was in the letter. That might be true. Regardless, according to the letter, you are trustworthy and capable of holding your own out there. That's good enough for me. Guards, escort everyone out. Soon, all townsfolk are gently escorted outside, ignoring the pleas of people who just started their drinks. Maimed Knight returns you the letter. Got the letter back. Guards take their posts on the other side of the door and make sure no one is eavesdropping by the outside wall. You're now alone with the knight, trying not to look at the bandages covering half his face or to think about unsettling stories you've heard about him.
I kept watching you today. I needed to see how well you deal with hardships and obstacles before I tell you the truth.
You mean, is that why you put my name for the offering today? Time is short. I couldn't wait any longer, and you seemed like a best bet. He points to a letter in your hand. And this proves I wasn't the only one to think that. Do you want to hear the truth? Yes, let's listen.
When Lord Yvain left me in charge of this farmhold, I thought the task was beneath me. Turned out it's quite the opposite.
He looks at his bandaged hands and then turns back toward you.
I cannot travel outside anymore. Will you help me?
Are you who you claim to be? Are you really from Kamelot? His eyes become more distant for a moment. Am I? Can you be sure of anything after you went through the weirdness? I don't know. Some people of the town believe you sent Yvain on some fool's errand just to rule in his stead. Ingrats. I'd relinquish this position in an instant if it wasn't for the oath that binds me. What is it you want me to do?
We have to find a way to strengthen the Menhir and buy more time, so that Yvain may finish his quest. Blood is not sufficient anymore. We need another source of power to lay at its feet.
Okay, well, the clouds of weirdness are still outside the town. It's impossible to travel. The knight reaches for the satchel at his side and hands you a couple of candles made from strange dark wax. You shudder. You never thought you'd get to use one of these foul things. Weird candles. Make every one of them count. Some more may still be bought around Kunacht. They get scarcer by the day. And do not make the mistake of thinking that their light turns you invulnerable. If you keep peering too long into the weirdness, it is bound to look back. His hand touches the bandage on the side of his face. So that's where sanity comes into play. Got 5 weird candles. Where should I look? Any ideas?
In days of old, before the purges, it was druids who took care of Menhirs. The one Yvain cast out from the city may still be alive. You may also ask someone who knows a thing or two about objects infused with magic. Your people speak about a witch in the woods to the west. Maybe she knows what could help our stone.
In the days of old, the druids took care of the Menhirs. Yvain cast out from the city may be alive. You can ask the witch. If you don't go out there, no one will. In weeks, the town will be swallowed whole. Don't wait until the weirdness is at your very doorstep. Okay, awesome. Now we have a couple of different things. Find either the witch or the druid. Go into our side quests. Find the druid in his Clocan in the hills south of Kunacht, or the Wicked Witch of the West if we go west. He did mention that we might be able to buy things. I'm going to check the Kunacht marketplace here. I'm going to ask for wares. Let's see what these things cost. We have a travel map. We have weird candles. Yeah, let's buy one. Bandages to remove all wounds. A bunch of armor. All of this stuff is very expensive. We only have 7 wealth right now, so we'll go ahead and just buy whatever we can. Okay, now, should we go see the witch or should we go see the druids? That is the question. Either one, we're going into the weirdness. So I'm going to set this in place here. We have the letter from Ephrir. Let's read it. You're always a good lad and a great help. I would have closed the forge long ago if not for the strength of your arms and your resolve. Now I feel I owe you the truth. The sagas of old are true. Our island once belonged to twisted, immortal powers. It was not a place for humans, but Arthur, the first of the kings, who landed on the shores with our people, subdued Avalon inch by inch. He took the Grail from the Four Dwellers and used it to bring seasons and cycles known from our world to this godless place. He also raised Guardian Menhirs to secure his conquest. Now the Menhirs are going dark throughout the land. Something has broken. The spring will not come. Lord Yvain plans to lead me and some other people of this farmhold east to find help in Kamelot. Though it pains me, he asked to keep our mission and our departure a secret. If we don't return, it means we have failed, and the fate of Kunacht falls to you. Yvain didn't want you in our expedition due to your lack of experience and short temper, but I've always believed in you, lad. I know that if the worst comes to pass, you'll do the right thing. Save our people, or if you cannot, try to save yourself. Ephrir, Forge Master of Kunacht. I hope he's not too upset. If he ever does return, that I let those people in. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's try the druid's place here. Now, as we step out, okay, we're actually right into a battle straight away. I was going to try and pause it to show you something, but we'll try and fight these dogs and get into it. This guy's looking to deal damage, debuff, and buff. Okay. So we can gain some armor, which wouldn't be too bad. Next card has a critical chance. Next card is red. Add 50% damage of this attack. Okay, so we're going to do this. We'll go Pendulum. We're going to gain some charges here with Swift Strike. We're going to gain some charges and gain armor here. End the turn. He's using Duck and Run, so his evasiveness is improved. We're getting attacked here, and attacked here. So we definitely want to gain armor. But if I go here, Gain 2 charges there, and we're getting armor from this as well. Next card is blue. We get to draw a card, but that's only going to be beneficial if it's cost of 1. And we already have these other ones. I don't know that I need to draw. I can just gain armor and then deal damage, and I think I can kill this guy off by doing this. Let's gain that. I think we just go double Swift Strike here, which is also going to boost our Brawler up. The 1's down. We can tank through some of this, hopefully. Very nice. Okay, so they're looking to both attack as well. And armor there. Let's do this. So this is going to reduce the cost of our next red. It does lower my non-red runes to 0 though, but we're going to offset that with the armor buff here. I actually misplayed that. I misplayed that. We should have played these first and played that one at the end. That's my bad. This is now going to deal 10 to 20 damage. Cost is reduced, and if the next card is red, we generate 3. It's also going to bleed for 3 turns. We could go Brawler. Increase the damage output of these by 100%, and we could play them both. And then I could even play this. Why don't I play this first? Play this first, draw a card. Oh, that's very nice. Then we play this. Now these are all free. Next card's red, generate 3. Next card red, generate 3. This place is bleeding. So we're gonna do... These are already 1 less. We'll save this for the end. Let's do a bleed here. We're gonna do a bleed here. And then we're gonna go here. We could have killed one, but I think getting the bleed across both is probably better. And we have full Brawler again. Did he just evade the bleed? It looks like it. Okay, do I have any healing that I can do? Looking to attack, looking to attack. This one's 0 because if the next card is red, it costs 1 less. Next card ignores enemy armor. Doesn't really matter in this scenario. But it's free, so whatever. Next card has a chance for critical hit equal to your armor. Let's do this. And then we'll do this. Oh, wait. Did he evade that? He might have evaded that. Whoops. My bad. Let's draw a card. It's unfortunately not a red card. Don't have any healing. That's okay. All right. We got some food. Now, out here, if we're traveling without weird candles, we're going to lose sanity. So we're going to try to avoid that. Let's also eat. See our health increasing on the left there. I'm just going to max that out. We have booze, restores the sanity and resolve. All right. Now you can hold space to speed this up, but I kind of want to keep an eye on enemies that we might run into. Hey, the Druid's Clocken. A small town, or small stone is it Clocken or Clochin? I'm not sure. Looms into the mist. Over the years, you've heard many tales about the man who lives there. Some of them were used to scare the children of Kuanak. Soon you notice the smoke rising slowly from the hut's chimney. A group of men set up their makeshift camp by the front door. Seems they're waiting for the druid to come out. Leader of the group looks at you from under his deep hood. His tattooed companions do not even honor you with a glance, but their unusual scars and crude clothing tell you everything. The Hill Tribe. Be gone. It's your last warning. Let's approach and try to talk this out. People who are kind enough to warn you before they unsheath their swords are a rarity these days. You approach the group slowly and calmly. Wasn't I clear enough? Haven't seen the hill tribes this close to Kuanak before. We did not wish to be here either. You think that's the end of it, but then the hillman speaks again. He tells you of the rolling clouds of weirdness and the hair-raising vistas in the sky, of creatures in the night that keep whispering just beyond the door, slowly pushing people to madness, of hunger and despair. So we lose a little bit of sanity from hearing that, but we get some experience. Though his story is spine-chilling, you see clearly there's something even worse he's trying not to tell. It's clear that you're here to get help. What's the issue? You think you're smart, Townie? Why would you care? There's a hint of annoyance in his voice. You're walking on some thin ice. Why would you care? I don't. I want to get inside and you're in the way. I help you out, you let me in? Blunt. Good. The hooded man slowly stands up. He's taller than anyone you've seen in your life. His group takes a step back unconsciously. You want to help out? Fine, we're starving here. Go hunt. Bring us enough food and we'll talk. Oh, we'll let you talk to the warlock. All right, I'll bring you some food. So it requires 5 food, which I think we just ate. So that's very inconvenient, but that's okay. So now this has led to another quest. So we need to find some food out here. Down in this area that we've walked past, there's some resources. So let's go ahead and gather those. Let's get another weird candle. This 3 here, it lasts for 3 moves. And if you look closely, you can see over a long period how far that gets us. So these are resources used for rebuilding things, I believe. Like, here's an example. A lone brooch, which is ruined. The northern gate is ruined. There's highwaymen here we might need to fight. I'm going to see if we can come down this way. And actually, maybe what we'll do, reduce the trigger range here. Dominating presence. As we get closer, you see that red circle there? I don't know if I can actually get past this at all. This looks like it's all blocked off. So we'd have to fight those highwaymen. What I'm going to do is we'll go out to the witches area. We could fight the highwaymen, but I'm looking to maybe just get the food. So let's go look for wolves. Kind of a waste of the weird candle, but... Gatekeeper. Lone guard glances at you nervously. I hope you're not planning to bail on us. Now the roads are a little bit clearer, like this ungrateful foundling did. Ooh. You know, Niant's herb girl. Allez, that's the other character we could have picked. She stormed off as soon as you lit the menhir. Did she tell you where she was going? She never tells us when she's sneaking in or out of the farmhold, but this time she went down the path leading to Caraway Inn. If you stumble upon her, maybe you could talk some sense into her. Cool. Okay, here's a wolf. Or a dog. Let's see how quickly we can take this. Yes. We'll do that. His attacks are not that strong, so... Do we have anything that we can draw a card? Not really. We can gain a little bit of damage. He's looking to apply a buff, so let's do that. There's a little bit of damage. Okay. That should give us some food. That's 2. Dash of oddities, maimed knight. Bandage and a travel map. Awesome. New event. The Hunter's High Seat in the eastern side of Turnak burned down in a terrible fire last night. It's possible it could have been avoided. And people say they saw a weird claimed beast raging among the flames and are afraid it's going to start terrorizing the town. I'm just looking for some wolves or some food. Too bad that we ate it all. Grimfire Goblet. You stare into the lazy flame, almost hypnotized. You think you hear cracking whisper coming out of the brazier. They wish for a human bone. Oh, okay. You'll get 10 max sanities. Okay, that's nice. That means we can travel more without the things, but we don't have a human bone. Maybe we can search graves? Here's the knight. You reach for your weapon expecting yet another obstacle, but your grip relaxes as you recognize the tattered cloak and broad shoulders. It's the maimed knight. Suspicions immediately flood your mind. He told you he couldn't go out anymore, but here he is, no weird candle in hand. He had to travel through pure weirdness to get here. The very thought of this chills you to the bone. Let's watch him. After what feels like an eternity, the maimed knight enters the graveyard, bypasses the main alley, and walks up to a spot that seems empty. Only when you hid behind a nearby tomb, you notice an unmarked stone on the ground in front of him. The knight's head slumps low as if some terrible burden has befallen him. Let's keep prying on him feels wrong. Let's keep watching. Moments later, the maimed knight gathers himself. Without turning towards you, he says, I was hoping you would drop this charade on your own. I also didn't expect you here. Weren't you supposed to stay in Kuanak? I was, but I wanted to see this place one last time. Why? Do not change the subject. Why are you here? Were you following me? This is where people of my farm hold honor their dead. You have no place here. What makes you so sure? If only... He stops half-word and takes a long breath. Never mind. I'm not going to reward your insolence with my secrets. I'll see you at the farmhold. Please make haste with your search. Weird. You enter the old cemetery. Had time to properly bury the dead and return to pay its respect. Only after a while, an unnerving realization breaks through this nostalgia. The cemetery is not a place you should tarry in so close to the weirdness. Look for rich-looking graves you could dig up. Let's take a walk around the cemetery. The breeze whispers softly. You think you hear voices amidst the graves, whether wind or weirdness. Better not stay here longer. Let's keep looking. Let's dig. You weren't the only one who came up with this idea. Oh, no! A grave robber. Okay, so he's going to damage and apply a buff. This is pretty good. And then we could play one of these. And this one becomes free. And then we still have an energy to play this. Regain 10 armor and 2 charges. What's this now? Withdrawal? Okay, so 30% evasion. He's looking to apply a buff. This costs a lot, but let's draw a card. Ooh, here we go. Next card has chance for critical hit equal to your armor. Oh, he evaded. It's fine. He's not looking to attack. Smoke. Plus 75 evasion. I'm not sure what just triggered that. Okay. Oh, evaded again. Let's do this so that our red cards are free. There we go. All right. Oh, we got a human bone, though. That's cool. Torch. Cure all poisons and remove all wounds. Grave robber's out of the picture. You grab a shovel and start digging in the place they found. You got some resources, some money, and human bone. So now in the Grimfire Goblet... This is so cool. You stare into the lazy flame, almost hypnotized. You think you hear cracking whispers coming out of the braziers. After a while, they wish for a human bone. Let's see what happens. So we're at 92 and 110. Now we're up to 120. Led by an inexplicable desire or maybe instinct, you throw the bone inside the lazy fire kindling in the goblet. As soon as the flame even touches the flame, or it's probably supposed to say bone, an inferno explodes in the iron brazier, and the fire burns with power renewed. You don't know why, but you act like your mind has just found a new piece through the bizarre act. This is really cool. Okay, you guys, I'll tell you what. Like, I could go on. You can see there's a lot to do, and like one thing leads to this, and then they want you to do something else. But like, the branches are pretty cool. And this is early. Like, I'm really impressed. I'm really, really impressed. The writing's very cool. I really enjoy that. The aesthetic is very neat. I wish that you could get in just like a little closer to just see more detail, because like I feel like we're missing out a little bit on just some of that, like being able to see characters a little bit more clearly. The buildings could be a little bit more defined, but that's just like a personal preference thing, I think. I really hope that they can add a ton of voice acting. That would be great, or at least make it where it's more consistent, where you know if you'll be able to, if you're going to be the one talking, or if all main characters are voice acted or something. I think that would be really nice if it was all voice acted, though. That's just that would be massive. The questing seems great. This early seems really great. There's already cool like story callbacks. Like we just learned about the other character that we could have picked that ran off, that we could find her and even say like where she might be located. These observatories, I think, are things that we can activate that can maybe, I think we can light a fire in there to like see around the observatories. Let me actually go over there and check. I'm going to torch up too. This is like one of those things where I'm like, I'll just check let me check one more thing before I wrap it up. I'll be here forever, but yeah. Okay. Climb the tower, light the fire, last 12 turns. Take a deep breath, welcoming fresh breeze touching your face. The view is clear and allows you to state your position along some of the surroundings. Okay, so what that's done, I think, is just given us a bigger view. We see this grubwood flesh leech, some type of like bigger enemy. Caraway Crossroads Inn. I think that was the inn that he mentioned where the woman went. This is the witch. Yeah, this is awesome. This is really cool. So voice acting, I would like when you're in battle, I'd like to see more definition on the cards if possible. And what I mean by that is it would be really nice to, at a glance, know what that card's going to be doing. I'm sure that over time you would get used to it, but currently you have to read the card and then read the momentum and try to figure out like how those link together. If they could more clearly define that at a glance, it's going to take work, but I think that would be quite helpful. Music-wise, the music's really good. I think that if you could make it more appropriate to the specific situation, whether you're in combat or whether an interesting story thing is happening or what have you. I think the cutscenes are fine, but maybe a little bit unnecessary. Like there was even one, I think, at the Menhir when we made the sacrifice, maybe, where it played the cutscene, said the thing, and then took you back into the text that you had to reread. But that's probably polish that can be fixed. This is alpha. This is super, super early. And I think for an alpha, man, I'm impressed. Like I will be following this and I'm excited to see where this goes. If you guys have any questions, let me know and I'll try to help you out. Links for this will be down below, and feel free to check that out and peruse. But I'm excited. I'm really excited for this, and I'm happy that I was given the opportunity to show this to you guys, because I think this has a ton of potential. Oh, one other thing. It's a small thing, but I love when games can use like a unique font that fits a little bit better. Like the font choices are a little bit, Times New Roman, and sometimes there's like a weird papyrus font and stuff. Like I don't know, they're okay, but just if you can just polish this up and make it look like a super AAA experience, the rest of it's going to fall into place, because the story is already, I'm really intrigued to see where that would go. The branching quests seem really neat and really well executed and really surprising in some of them. Like the one where we could use the guy's flesh that we killed. That was awesome. Enemy-wise, there seems to be some variation there. Obviously now we're seeing just wolves, but over here we see like this grubwood flesh leech. It'd be also neat if in the combat, the cards were maybe animated. It's probably a lot of work, but if that could be added, it would just be some extra level of polish. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll have links down below if you want to check this out, and we'll see you in the next one.